Hello, and welcome to... Well, I don't really know yet. Yeah, bad idea making a script, but... Now I do. The possibilities. Okay, so we are doing this on a small game that reminded me of my childhood. Oh, sweet, sweet childhood. To get right into this, it's Scalar. And can Scalar really happen? What I mean by that is that what are the possibilities in it? So we'll go through various things like wormholes, lizards, and the kid named Bobby. Yes, his name's Bobby. He likes to be called Scalar, but his name is Bobby. This game has so many mixed reviews, and I had to go through it again to figure it myself because critics said it was mixed, didn't know, and confused. People who played it were awesome, but a little bit confused, but also very happy they played it. So I watched the video all the way through and all the way back, so technically I think I remember the game and how much you go through it. So I've watched so many videos on it, and eventually I came to the point of, okay, let's do this. At the start we see a cutscene of him being in a basement and being tortured by a human. Yes, a human. I thought myself that he was a lizard at first, but no, he just helped the lizard, and yes, he's in the military. Bobby saw him before on TV, and I don't actually remember that cutscene, and every single time I tried to find it, for some reason it wouldn't come up, and I don't know why. So there's many reasons otherwise of why this kid's getting tortured, what's happening, and everything else. Like I said, I can't find the reasons why this all happened, but I can definitely try and get the possibilities of them being real, them coming through a wormhole or a dimensional hole, which is completely different, and we'll talk about that more. Is it truly possible that he can transform into a lizard? Yes, transform. He was getting tortured. I don't know if this was an alien torture device or something like that, and that's why he turned into that. But even in the game, he transforms more into different creatures that surprisingly he's killing for their DNA. So a quick rundown of Scalar before I start everything on the math and possibilities side. Scalar is just a game about a boy who goes into a different dimension that's filled with all sorts of creatures, and he has to get out, but also finds his dad, which was lost years ago, and he didn't have him with him, especially in the cutscenes, until, well, we'll save that for the end, but I take it that isn't really much of a spoiler anyway. Now, is this possible, first off, that they can make something that can transform a human and back into a human because of a dimensional portal and actually defeat them? You know what I mean. So, first things first. In the very first cutscene, you see him getting electrocuted by this weird torture device that is hurting him but also changes him. So, we'll have to go through genetics, electricity, and stuff like that. Well, okay, so it's possible that electricity can stimulate your body in certain ways. Some ways being your brain, twitches, and other sorts of things, like you could actually exfoliate yourself using electricity also. This can also be done by certain noises and other things that you may not have heard of before, but that's for another day. In theory, that this electricity device that came from a different dimension that he's being tortured with and also turns into a lizard from is possible in a sense of if you trust that other dimensional beings have something like that in their hands already. But by looking at how primitive these lizards are, technically they won't be able to. Just because of the whole fact, if you run through the game, it looks very primitive, and you really think that there's nothing else but brutality in it. So impossibilities, no, I don't think that would work at all, let alone be real at all. But maybe one day we will do it. Who knows? Actually, the more I look this up, it may be possible that this can be real, but if they'd done it, it'd be very weird because they do look very primitive. The three states of matter are solid, liquid, and gas. What people don't normally know, or they teach you in school, is that there's a fourth matter called plasma. We don't know everything about plasma or what it can do because we haven't actually harnessed plasma, that being lightning, and also if you've ever watched it, it's the Dragon Ball Z Kamehameha. Yes, that's plasma. So in possibilities, it may be a thing that can come true. But in Scalar, with them being so primitive and all their landscapes that are also very primitive, no. It's not possible that they could have made that. Okay, so I done some research and I couldn't find anything on any of these lizards. None of them looked like other lizards that are even real. Even Scalar himself, he doesn't seem like to be a lizard. and I did look up many lizards. I even just looked up blue lizards just to see, and you may find some on your way of searching yourself, but those are not completely lizards. If you do look up what Scalar is, there's no such thing as what he is. And with the 4 other lizards that you do play against in this game, those technically don't exist either. They're very weird manifestations of certain animals, but they aren't lizards. So after getting electricity pulsing through him and his hand changing into a lizard, all of a sudden a random wormhole opens. Now, to understand what a wormhole is kind of hard to explain on the technical side, but the easiest way to explain it is that it's literally a hole through time and space where it's literally folded 2 pieces together so you can walk through one end and get to the other in seconds. The Einstein-Rosen bridge, which is yes another word for a wormhole, can be very revolutionized if possible to make, but it's also been speculated that it's almost impossible to make because you need enough antimatter that won't explode around you to hold the gate open for even more than a millisecond. Now this is all in theory, just like this video, because it's actually a lot harder than you think to search up theories upon theories on another theory. So is it possible to have this thing actually open off of an alien technology where it was torturing you, which technically in possibilities they couldn't make, but also open a wormhole and change you in transformation completely? The wormhole is a definite possibility, yes. There's even possible wormholes out in the universe that we haven't discovered that can be real, and there's also invisible wormholes that can also be real, but then again, that's just, whoa, a whole nother theory. So eventually becoming one of these lizards and walking through this wormhole's definitely possible. Him transforming into a lizard, I'm not sure, maybe possible, but not right now, never possible right now. Aliens coming through a wormhole, well, yes, that's possible. Them being lizards, not possible. Actually, don't quote me on that, I have no idea what aliens could be. To summarize this whole episode up, and yes, I know it's very short, but this is my very first episode on this, and it did take hours upon hours. I have to hand it to people like the Game Theory and stuff like that. They have put hours upon hours into theirs, and they make it so long, and I don't know how. But anyway, to conclude this episode, what is possible? Scalar turning into a transforming, mutated lizard that isn't actually real, technically, and a possibility of that the aliens, even though they couldn't have made this torture device, even though it seems like they didn't, is possible the plasma could reconstruct your configuration into a lizard. Wormholes, real. Can you pass through them? Possibilities of that happening, which no one has ever actually researched, and actually possible in the sense of yes, they are real, but is it possible to walk through them? No one knows. No one's walked through one. And the possibilities of everything of this game, Scalar can possibly transform into a weird like lizard. There is possibilities of a wormhole open up to a different planet, and is it possible to Scalar escape using that device? Well, yes. Technically, Scalar can come true. The possibilities of it is a yes. Unbelievably, a game about a kid that gets tortured by these weird alien lizard people that came from a different world, wormhole, whatever. It can possibly happen. And the loving ending of it all when he jumps through that hole and you've collected, I think it's all 100 crystals, yeah, all 100 crystals. There is a secret ending, not very much secret, more of a completionist ending, where at the end you think you lose your father, but then after that cutscene you see him telling you to go to bed and it was all a dream. But then again tell you that, but he remembers everything and doesn't tell you because he's such a sweet dad and didn't want to scar you for life. So thank you for watching this video, and if this video does get highly rated, I will make a bloopers because during this session I messed up a lot. And it would be funny to see a bloopers maybe once a week after I've done these. I'm not entirely sure, but this is a first try at this, and like I said before, I have to hand it to Game Theory and everything else. Thank you for the courage on making me... Yep, that's why we need bloopers. What I meant to say was thank you for encouraging me to make this channel and try and do my own kind of theories and become the possibility. Now, I had been working on this for about 2 months now, on the logo, on the channel, on the script, and I'm gonna be working on another script soon. But if you want the bloopers, I will have to stop that script and edit the bloopers in, possibly for next week, or I could try and do both, but I'm not entirely sure. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you really like theories, especially game theories. I'll do them a lot more. I'll maybe do some movie theories or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, these are just possibilities that could happen at any possible moment. So just remember, anything's possible.